Look at this beech tree. It is dead. Has a huge hole in the tree, in the trunk. You would think, because of the buds that are still on the tree, that the leaves are beginning to sprout shortly after, somewhere in May. But that's not the case. We are now 2017. I made a video, or a few videos, a few years back, and you could see the decay of all the trees. This is a beech tree. You see the holes appearing on the trunk. And what's also prolific are the indentations on the bark and the discoloration. It's becoming black, some kind of fungal rotting on a tree trunk. Also, this specimen has buds, big buds. But what I didn't notice then, back in 2014, is that the tree has no root support anymore. If I take it in my hand here at the trunk and I point the camera downward, you can see it has no support anymore. It's basically dead. Now 99% of the people don't see it. All they think and all they're being programmed to is to accept the bogus lies about climate change, carbon dioxide, CO2, global warming, as they say is the cause of man-made warming. When you talk about emissions, in a general sense, reducing the emissions of the carbon footprint. But what you actually are talking about is reducing humankind, because we exhale oxygen, or we exhale carbon dioxide. But most of the government and all the affiliated NGOs, conservation agencies don't mention these visible degradation on the trees. As you can see here on this beech, you see gigantic cracks all over the bark, and it's visible all over the place. And it's not only the beech trees, as I mentioned a few years back, but it's all the species of trees that are affected. And for some species it takes a lot more time to die off, but the die-off is happening so quickly now that replanting or planting new trees has absolutely no sense at all, because in the same growing season they are all losing their ability to regenerate themselves for the coming year, making new wood, new stems, new branches. This tree as well. You see the bud taking place, but the buds are smaller. There are some big buds on the top, but it's not providing any positive outcome for this year, because as you look closely you can see that there's no good ground support. With a little force I can pull this whole tree down. Normally this wouldn't be possible with a healthy tree. You need a tractor to pull this tree down. But they are so weak that this is the last year for most of the trees. Most people assume now you're not telling the truth or you're wrong, because everything is sprouting again. And yeah, basically that is true. Most trees are becoming green again and show signs of the new growing season. But what's the quality of the tree? If you look at the canopy and you see that it's totally reduced, and you see the bark full of green algae like fungus coating and bark that is coming off, peeling off. As you can see here, this tree, this is an European oak. Let me show you the damage. Let me zoom in. You see all these bark cracks all over from the bottom up. You might think, well, you have mechanical damage which has been done through a machine or an axe. No, it's not true. This tree is full of cracks, and you can see the branches that it made in the last years are totally withering. They're drying out. It's coming apart. You see the light coloration on this specimen here. Now let me show you at the base of this beech tree. You can see the cracks at the trunk, at the root. The root system begins. So basically the tree is not capable anymore of supporting its own life support system, which is taking nutrients and water from the ground. It's dead. This specimen is dead, but they are all dead, because it doesn't mean that the tree next to it doesn't. The tree next to that one doesn't show the same kind of crack at the trunk on ground level or higher up, but the specimen is in the same predicament. It's dying. They're all dying, even though they are full of buds, and I guess some of them will turn green again, but at the time they will die. We've seen that with horse chestnuts, we've seen that with ash trees. Can happen in a few days in the growing season that they will die off, because they are so bad now. Let me show you another example. This tree also at the base, the root is dying and the bark is peeling off. You need in a few years back you needed an axe or a chisel to chop the bark off, but now you can see it's all withered. The branches are all dead or dying, and they're falling off. Look, you're breaking off like snaps. And over here as well. This beech tree over here. Look at it. Let me show you the cracks. See the cracks? It's all over. See him? It's done. They have no more good root support. This one is it. This one too. Let me show you the cracks. See those cracks? It's bulging up. The bark is coming apart at the seams. Now this tree is dead. You can see it on twigs as well. They are drying out. Although they have buds, the buds are small, too small. They should be thick and healthy. The branches are so weak, they snap. Quite easy, look. There's no rigidity anymore. Yeah, sure, the evergreens look pretty green, but doesn't really matter. They're all dying. People wake up.